Hey, happy Sunday. It's Kathy. Welcome to my stream today. Happy to have you here. We're going to do Margaret Irwin, who was a writer. She died in, it's debatable. Wikipedia says 1967. I've also seen 1969, but she was alive in, hold on a second, before then. She was alive before then. And hold on, I have some tabs open here so I can go through these with you. So she was born in 1889 and she died in either 1967 or 1969. We don't know yet. Will we ever know? Wikipedia says 1967. I tend to trust Wikipedia. Another website says 1969, so I don't know. I mean, sometimes with these people, after it's been, over 100, 150 years or something, sometimes you don't know. I don't know. But let me just check my... Let me check and see if you guys can hear me. If I am coming in loud and clear. Sounds like it. Let me check That's and us. See if you guys can. All right, we're here. We're here. We are here. Hey. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm just gonna set up my little phone here so I can see you and you can see me and everything. So today I went and got some coffee at my local coffee shop because I was out of my favorite. And then they were out of my favorite, which is their Ethiopia. But today I got Guatemala. It's good. Cheers. This is my mug from Riverstone Pottery. Hope Thomas is the artist, and it's a beautiful mug. And I think she might have some available in her shop now. She had like a release. She had a mug release a few days ago. I didn't buy a new one. I have two, and that's a good amount. That's a good amount. I had one that I used for a long time, for years. It was my favorite mug, and it broke. So then I had to buy some more. So I think I bought these like a year or so ago. Cheers. Anyway, I love this mug. And I drink out of it a lot. So we did this yesterday. This was Elizabeth Gaskell. If you would like to see this one, please watch yesterday's replay. A watched pot never boils. So let's talk about Margaret Irwin. I'm going to read a little bit from weirdfictionreview.com, a little bit from Wikipedia probably too, but let's get into it. First, let's look at our quote that I'm going to do today. And we can see what I picked out here. Because sometimes it's easier to find quotes for people, sometimes it's harder. And what happened there? And this one was, I like this one right off the bat. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. And the visual that came to mind for me was skeleton keys and locks. So I looked up some skeleton keys on Unsplash. And I'm going to do a nice design with this quote and skeleton keys with my nice Inktober black ink. Today I'm going to be using this, and I'm going to be dipping my empty pens because I did not fill these and I really need to fill them up. I have 3 brush pens here. They need to be filled, so maybe I'll get my act together and fill them today. And fill them up today. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. I really liked that quote. And so I'm going to use this one today, but let's learn a little bit about Margaret Irwin real quick. Let me go to, where is my, I don't think I'm in Safari. I'm going to go to, are we in Chrome? Yeah. Okay. Let's read a little bit. Okay. Margaret Irwin. This is from weirdfictionreview.com. I wanted to find, because like I've talked about this month so far, most of these writers, if not all of them, are known more for other things than for supernatural and Gothic writing. No, not all of them. Most of them. There's a few that are known primarily for that. But, and you know, no exception here. So, let's see. Okay, let's read from weirdfictionreview.com. Margaret Irwin, 1889 to 1969, was an English writer of a long series of critically acclaimed historical novels. As well as a supernatural classic, She Still Wished for a Company, 1924. She wrote her first ghost story at age 5 and continued to write them for much of her life. The best collected in Madame Fears the Dark, 1935. Turn that up. And Bloodstock. Ooh, good title. 1953. The book is a book. 1930, it's the title of a book, is one of only a handful of ghost stories weird enough to appear in The Weird. And The Weird, I think, is, I just Googled these guys, so it's my first time learning about Weird Fiction Review. I think The Weird is their, I think it's their publication. So that is what the reference is there. The writer Joanna Russ, appearing in The Weird with another unusual ghost story, described her book, as one of the most interesting stories of the supernatural I have ever read, a sentiment also expressed by contributor and new weird writer, I don't know what new weird is, China Meeville. This view is also held by Lisa Hannett, who skillfully examines the book, as well as Irwin's body of work, and finds these stories centering on a vital dilemma. What is more monstrous, the world of the weird or the world we, the readers, inhabit? Well, that is a question for all time, right? So, and what a lot of horror is about, right? Okay, here we are. This is Charlotte Riddell. Whoa, what's going on here? There we go. Margaret Irwin, novelist. Margaret Irwin. Okay, and then Wikipedia says she was born 27 March 1889 and died December 11th, 1967. Was an English historical novelist. She also wrote a factual biography of Sir Walter Raleigh. Irwin was born in Highgate Hill, London, to Andrew Clark Irwin, a native of Perth, Western Australia. And Anna Julia Irwin. Okay, we don't blah, 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 blah. She was brought up by her uncle, a master of classics at Clifton College, then a boys' school. She attended the nearby girls' school, Clifton High School, a girls' school in Bristol, after her parents died. She got a degree in English. She began writing books and short stories in her early 20s. In 1929, she married children's author and illustrator John Robert Monsell, who created the covers for some of her books. Cheers. Her novels were esteemed for the accuracy of their historical research, and she became a noted authority on the Elizabethan and early Stuart era. Young Bess, a novel... Lost my place. Young Bess, a novel about the early years of Queen Elizabeth I, was made into a film of the same title starring Jean Simmons. Jean Simmons was an actress back in the oldie days. Irwin wrote several ghost stories, including The Book and The Earlier Service. Irwin also wrote 2 fantasy novels. She Wished for Company is about a magical time slip, and These Mortals is an adult fairy tale about a wizard's daughter. Okay, so she's got her foot in a lot of different places. I want to just share this with you guys real quick. I have it linked in another, I think it's in Catherine Crow, who is like day 5-ish. There's this website called LibriVox, and you can listen to books. They're in the public domain, and you can go here and listen to books. Sometimes you can find really old authors. I could not find Margaret Irwin, but let's do a test. Let's look and see if they have Catherine Crow. I think they do. So I just want to show you, because I keep forgetting to put this in my links for Inktober. There we go. See, Catherine Crow, 2 books. So if you, and hopefully today I'll remember to do this, but if you listen to books better than you read them, or if you have more time to listen, if you're curious about any of these authors and you want to explore their books, check here. Look, check it out. Let's, Clara Reeve, I think, is one that we're going to do soon. So they have 2 books by Catherine Crow. I just want to, because, it's kind of hit or miss. And it's all, they're free to listen to. It's great, though. This is like such a fun thing. Old English Baron. Okay, so, and we're going to do her next week, I think. Clara Reeve was an English novelist best known for her Gothic novel, The Old English Baron, 1777. Wow, finally an 18th century lady. Okay, we got one coming. So, yeah, this is a really good resource. I haven't sat down and just listened to a book yet, like in full, but I have listened here and there a little bit, and it's very nice. Like I love resources like this. They're so great. It's so great to have a resource. I have Audible, but and sometimes when you have an Audible, I am not I am not pushing Audible memberships at all. I've been trying to get out of my membership for a long time, but I just can't bring myself to do it. Long story. Let's start drawing. But when I say get out of it, I mean I could easily just unsubscribe, right? But I have to then first choose like 10 books that I have waiting for me to choose them. I have all these credits I have to use. Okay, story for another day, right? All right, so I'm on Unsplash, and I looked up Skeleton Key. So this is great because I have all these great resources to draw, so I can just look and draw some keys. And I thought that it might be fun to just do like just a bunch of keys somehow. I'm not even sure how I want to do it yet. Let's just do a little sketching first. I'm gonna grab my sharpener, sharpen up, and ooh, that's not gonna work. There we go. All right, let's draw some skeleton keys. Oh, how about like I like this. There's like a door situation. Oh, no, that's not what I meant to do. What happened? Right, I'm gonna look it up again. I saw a door. There we go. This one is kind of cool, right? I know it's not a key, but that might be kind of a neat, maybe we can work that in. Let's look at this quote again. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Just so I don't forget that, I'm going to write it down on a sticky note. Just going to write it down. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. And then that's Margaret Irwin. Okay, and I know I've mentioned this probably every day for a few days now, but Quotations by Women is a really great website with, it's free, it's pretty comprehensive, lots of quotes. Like it's a very good little resource there for you if you're looking for quotes. I sometimes like to go to Brainy Quotes and quote websites like that. What is there, like Smarty Quote, or there's different quote websites, which, oops, you don't need to look at all my pictures. There's different quote websites, but yeah, it's a good one. So let's go to here and I'm going to put my iPad over here and let's just start in. Let's just start in. Just want to make sure that I'm in frame here for you. Okay, that should be okay. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. So maybe we'll do like the little really kind of flying by the seat of my pants today. Did not do any pre-sketchy stuff. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. I like that quote. I like how it's like, I like how it's kind of short. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see here. And I have this book, which might come into play. Hey, Elsie, how are ya? I'm just drawing here. I'm doing a quote by Margaret Irwin. And you're doing a quote by Gothic author of the 19th century, 19th and 20th century, Margaret Irwin. Just working out my And then I really like this book that I showed you. I think I showed it to you yesterday. Here, let me show you. Let me show you again. This book is so great. It's custom lettering of the 40s and 50s by Rian Hughes. And it's out of print, as far as I know. I don't think it's back in print. But it's got some really cool lettering styles. Hand lettering styles. And this quote is short enough that I feel like I could tackle something a little consistently, but a little bit, something that would feel very, I really like this one. Evelyn Home, something that feels very 40s or 20s or, early, feels very early 20th or late 19th century-ish feeling. Even though I know Obviously it's of the 40s and 50s, but it still has that feel, you know? So let's do Margaret Irwin. I'm just gonna block out her name here. R-G-A-R-E-T. Okay, M. Let's put a T here. And then we're just gonna fill in M-A-R-G-A-R-E-T. Okay. Just wanna make sure I have enough spaced out properly. Margaret. Margaret Irwin. I-R-W-I-N. Okay. Okay. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Actually, you know what? I don't, how much, do we even need keys? I'm like, maybe we don't even need keys. Maybe we do like flourishes around, you know, somewhere here to jazz it, but I don't even know if keys are necessary here, because I think that this is looking pretty cool with just a little keyhole, and it really connects for me, the quote. I like that it kind of looks like a book cover because of the framing, the border, and it also kind of feels like a door. So there's lots of different connections here so far. Let's see. Maybe we do something else that is not keys. I mean, I do like the connection, like the idea connection there. I like how the idea is connected. I like how we went from keys to door to keyhole, and now, right? Kind of cool. So let's block out. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Remember? I think remember is going to take up this entire line. Remember that safety itself. Safety itself is unsafe, maybe. Remember, I think remember has to be on one line. That safety, no, that, remember that safety itself is unsafe. Okay, let's do that. So we have line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 5. Let's bump everything up a little bit. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. Okay. All right. I'm going to put my book down because it's heavy. That book is heavy. I love that book. It's heavy though. I have to say, it's heavy. It's heavy. Okay. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Let's see if I can just do a little bit of a tilt here, like that. And I will move you down here, like this, that, and that. Eraser, eraser. This is really just plotting out where things are going to go. And like, you know, keeping your fingers crossed kind of thing. Maybe I should be standing for this part. Not sure. I'm just going to take my head off the screen because you don't need to look at my head at this point. Yeah, I need a little bit more leverage, I think. Can we leverage? Grab some books. Grab some books for leverage here. See if that helps. All right, we're gonna just do this. That's okay. That's better. That is better. Don't usually bring out a ruler, but I'm doing it today. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Just in case I need it, I'm going to make one more line here. I don't think I'm going to need that, but It's too close to the keyhole, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. Remember that. And this is a little too thick up here, I think. Started here. That. Okay. Remember. Let's do down the middle here. That. Safety itself is unsafe. I'm going to just turn this a little bit like that, because I think I'm getting a little off. Let's do is small, like this. That's good. Okay, now we can still do our line unsafe here. All right, and then I think for the background, I want to do kind of like a combination of flourish and door, if you know what I'm saying. Just adding some little decorative elements to the edges, such as if it was wood and this was little metal bits, and then we can pretend that this is wood, because I think that that really is very fitting. I think that is very fitting with this. And then we can do some wood texture style. I like that. This will be good. Okay, good. I like this. Great. Moving in a good direction here. Let me move some of this stuff. Put this back down. And I'm just moving you a little closer, so, because sometimes I talk really low when I'm talking to myself. I'm just gonna pick up some of this graphite before I go in with the ink. Not so much that I can't see it, but Okay. All right, let's go in. Let's go in with our ink. What are we doing? Okay, how are we doing this? All right, let's just go in here. I'll turn the light up a little bit. It's a little bit dark. All right, I'm just gonna go in on the lettering now. Wait a minute. I wanted to design the lettering to look sort of, oh, what was that? To look sort of like this one. I thought this was kind of a good in-between because it's decorative, but it's not like too frivolous. And it evokes the feeling, but it's not super dark. So, all right. Let me grab this. I have to kind of hold this in my lap, I think, because so it has serifs, and then these bars are like, they're like those spindles on a on stairway railing, kind of. But they're not overdone. So I think I'm gonna use my pen. I'm gonna use my Tombow Food in a Soup. And then we can go over it with some brush pen later. You know, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Give it a little flavor. Okay, unsafe. Cursive, adding a little cursive in there. remember that safety itself. I'm just going to keep moving you up because I have a book in my lap and I can't really have my sketchbook in my lap too. Look at the room. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. In other words, nothing's safe. In other words, you got to take chances in life because really safety is an illusion, and you can protect yourself, but you can only protect yourself so much, right? Because it's not real. Okay. All right. Oh, excuse me. Wiping my nose. Ugh. All right. Let me do this. Okay. Excuse all the bumpy ride. I just want to make sure you get the best look at stuff. So let me do this. I'm going to move that there. I'm going to move these things there. I'm going to grab my coffee and put it there. And then I'm going to grab this book that I'm using. This lettering here, this style. Just, you know, just to keep me on track a little bit, you know. I mean, it's really not a big deal if things go off the rails. It's okay. It's totally fine. But I just want to have an eye on that. And I'm just gonna have a little coffee and I'm just gonna say hello. Hi. Okay. What do you think of my haircut? I got bangs. It's new. All right, let's see here. We have serifs. I'm gonna have to turn my page because this is like just the way it's gonna have to be. Let's do our serifs here. Those E serifs are pretty severe, I have to say. They are severe. All right. And we're going to tackle them in a minute, but I'm just putting in these right now. And that was a mistake. I didn't need to do that one. All right, I don't know how they treat the S in the lettering example that I have, so I'm just winging it. We are winging because I do hand lettering anyway. I'm not like a font creator. I am not a font creator. I am an experimental and expressive hand letterer. And my letters do not always look the same, and that's good, right? That is the way I like it. So if we do our E like that, right? Gotta have that little fine pen. It's got these cute little bubbles, like a, oh, you know what? The center has this cool little thing too. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of fun to do. Let's do all of our E's at once, because that kind of gives us an illusion that we're in control of this. Right? Let's work on that. Let's work on the illusion that we are in control of this. I do like the little slant that the serif on the E has. It's like just like a tip. It's just like a tip in the other direction, you know? Kind of like that. Kind of like that little tip. I don't want to overdo the tip, but it's like not straight up and down. There we go. Is that a little better? I think that should be a little better for you. All right. Okay. I think we're done with our E's. Let's do some M's. These M's are wild. Okay. We got this M, which is a kind of wild M. I like it. I like the M. Let's do the M. Okay, so we have, my coffee's in the way. We have this loop here, and then we have one side. I like how this font is. It's super interesting. Very decorative, but like not overdone. So on one side it has the fancy woodwork of the one line of the M, of the V and the M. And then on one of the arms of the M, it has the fancy woodwork. And then the other arm is just plain. That's kind of cool. I really like that. And what are our ends like? Ends are, let's tackle the ends at the same time, because why not? Right? We have a little bar, and then we have a little there, and then we have our woodwork here. Okay. All right, nice, nice. M. Back to the M's. Back to the M, back to the M. M, M, M. We have two M's up here. Let's do the M's up here. M. Let's do this one. There we go. And then this side. There we go. There we go. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Okay. I'm also going to do my A. I'm going to create my own A because they don't have an A. They don't have like an example of the A, how they would do it in this book. That's cool. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to do on one. Do I want a bar No. Yes. Do I want to do that? No. Okay. So on one of the legs of the A, rather, because I don't know what the word is I'm supposed to use for that. I'm doing that. The woodwork part. And A down here. Okay. There we go. Okay. And now let's do some eyes, because I think the eyes are pretty easy to figure out. I'm not, you know, scratching my head over this one. I think I know it will just be like one little spindle, like that. And then we have some more eyes up here. One eye, anyway. Okay. Now we have, let's do a W. Let's do the Y, because I like how they did the Y. I think it's unique. They did like a spindle on one side and then blank on the other side. And then for the base, they did a spindle. But it looks kind of like a wine glass. I think that's interesting. Kind of an interesting way to mix it up. You know what I mean? L. Let's do the L. Let's do the L, because the L has this wild. It has one of these serifs that are just really wild. And then it has the spindle. I'm just calling this thing the spindle. I just named it. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Margaret Irwin. Okay. Let's do a W now. So the W, I'm going to sort of mirror what we did with the M. I'm really just going for consistency here, because I just want everything to, you know, work together. So I'm doing what I think the original letter designer would do. I wonder if they would have done a loop. Maybe, do you think they would have done like a half serif or something there? I'm not sure. Probably not. I am gonna loop there on the G because I just really felt like doing that. Okay, let's do the G, because we're here. We're just here and we're doing it. There we go. Okay. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Oh, I forgot one of the N's. Let me do this N. Okay, and then we have that there. Okay, do we have an R? No. How are we going to do the R? I think we're going to do it like this. Like that. And then we're going to do like that. And maybe just leave it like that. another R here. I gotta plug my iPad in. I need it to be nice and energized for my 12:30. For my 12:30. Cheers. Okay. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? We're still doing the R's. Let's do these R's. And for that matter, let's do this B. Because we can, because we're here. We're just up in the area. So I just thought we would visit you, B. Just thought we would do the B while we were here. And then we'll do this R. Okay, great. Do we have, yeah. So my E is missing a little, my E's are missing some serifs that I need to fix. Just pressing down with my tip a little bit. We're getting there. You hear that clock? That clock is telling me that it is 11 o'clock Eastern time. And that means that we've been at it for an hour. And that means that I gotta speed this process up because I gotta go. I gotta finish this. Excuse me. I think for the U, it's gonna be a one-sided affair. Although I have to say I just did that, and I think the spindle probably needed to be, or should have been, or would have been, if I had an example. I think it would have been like half a spindle, but that's okay. This is fine. I'm glad I took on the challenge of doing this font because, I mean, I shouldn't say font. It's not a font. It probably was a font at one point. Maybe it still is a font somewhere. I don't know, but it's lettering because that's what I'm doing. I'm not doing a font. I'm doing lettering based on this font. How do I want to do the S? I don't have an example for the S of what the font looks like. And that's fine, but I just have to figure it out because we don't have an example. But there's other places to go before we get there, right? We have some other letters to do. Let's do our T's. All right, I'm going to do a little loop on the S's, just like that. Just because I really love a loop, and I did a loop on the M's, so it's not, you know, a new thing. And wait a minute, S. Let's do our T here. Let's just do that. Let's do that. Oh, wait a minute. Should we do? I think that's fine. Or maybe on the bottom part too? I'm just adding a little up swoop to the R curve here. There we go. Safety itself is unsafe. I think for now I'm going to play it safe and keep the S just like that because I don't want to overdo it. You know? I got other stuff to do here first. Let's add our little flourishes. I think I can remove my book now, or maybe I'll just do that. That's better. Okay. All right, awesome. I'm going to move this book now. Now I'm moving the book. Okay. We didn't even need the ornamental references, did we? No, I don't think we did. All right, let's see. Now I'm just going to do the outline of my border. There we go. Okay, now let's do some wood. Let's do some wood grain. And I don't really need a reference for this. I can just draw some wood grain in. I thought it would be cool too to use the grit from my brush pen to add some flavor. And we'll see. I might not even bring the brush pen in. I don't know yet. Let's see. I kind of want to make the border part. I kind of want to cover it with ink and maybe add a little shadow with my brush pen underneath these little grommet-y things on the edges, on the corners. Let's see where this goes. I'm not sure where this is going to go yet with that. It wasn't intentional for me to use this pen to save my ink, but what I mean by save my ink is I have to erase the pencil. And I think when I use ink, like from the brush pen, and I erase my pencil, it does tend to change the density of the ink. So I think this might give me better look, actually, with erasing by using the Food in a Soup pen. I don't know that for sure because I haven't erased it yet, but I kind of have a sense that it's probably gonna give me better luck with the eraser. I don't even know that I'm gonna bring in the brush pen today. I think we might just leave it like this because I like it. I do want to erase it. I'm very tempted, but I don't want to smudge anything, you know? Hey, Roblox. I don't know if you're still here. I literally just looked over at the chat. I'm not keeping such a hot eye on the chat right now. And so if I missed you, my apologies. Doing my best. I am very very involved in this piece right now, and I want to finish it. All right, I think I'm calling it. I think I'm calling it at 11:13. Here we go. Remember that safety itself is unsafe. Just gonna, no, I'm not calling it yet. I just want to do a little bit of, there we go. Okay. See, I definitely do better when I just don't touch it again, right? Okay, we're good. Remember that safety itself is unsafe by Margaret Irwin. And there we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. And let me see if you can see. Yeah, let me give you a close-up. Let's do a close-up. Remember that safety itself is unsafe, and it's designed to look kind of like a door-ish. Kind of a door-ish. I say ish because doors don't have doors don't have these on the edges, little metal edges. But we have a keyhole and wood. I hope you guys have a great day. I will be back at 12:30 p.m. to do another page in this book. Do another page of Night Garden Fairy Cats. And there we go. And yeah, I hope you come and join me. So I will see you at 12:30, and I will see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. for another one of our Gothic women authors for Inktober. All right, have a great day, and I will see you soon.